On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Waltz.
A ballroom dance in triple time that originated in Vienna and is characterized by a flowing, graceful style and a strong accent on the first beat of each measure.
Examples:
Waltz music. Elegant waltz. The dancers practiced the steps of the waltz meticulously to perfect their performance.
Replacement.
The act of replacing something with something else, especially that is newer or better, a person or thing that takes or can take the place of another.
Examples:
Regular replacement of tires. Replacement cost. We demand his replacement.
Princess.
The daughter of a monarch, the wife or widow of a prince, woman or girl, considered to be particularly good or admirable.
Examples:
Crown princess. A royal princess. The prince fell in love with the princess and asked her to marry him.
Walkie-talkie.
A portable two-way radio communication device typically used for short-range voice communication.
Examples:
Two-way walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie conversation. The security team uses an outdoor walkie-talkie to communicate with each other during events.
Pretension.
The act of claiming or asserting something, especially without good reason or without evidence, an unfounded or excessive claim or ambition.
Examples:
Pretension to authority. Baseless pretension. His pretensions of being a gourmet were quickly exposed when he could not identify basic herbs and spices.
Backyard.
A whole space behind and belonging to a house.
Examples:
Play in the backyard. Backyard barbecue. He grows vegetables in his backyard.
Device.
A piece of equipment, tool, or technology that serves a particular purpose or function, often mechanical or electronic.
Examples:
Electronic device. Tracking device. I always carry a backup device in case my phone runs out of battery.
Elf.
A mythical creature, typically depicted as a small, mischievous being with pointed ears and magical powers.
Examples:
Mischievous elf. Helpful elf. I dressed up as an elf for the Christmas party.
Workshop.
A place where people work, especially one where they do manual or practical work. A brief intensive course for a small group.
Examples:
Workshop attendee. Carpentry workshop. The artist held a workshop to teach students how to paint with watercolors.
Hood.
A covering for the head and neck, especially one attached to a garment.
Examples:
Hood ornament. A silk hood. He pulled his waterproof hood up to protect himself from the rain.
Software.
A set of computer programs and associated documentation and data for doing particular computational jobs.
Examples:
Software architect. Copyrighted software. The company specializes in both hardware and software.
Engineer.
A person whose job is designing, building, or maintaining something such as machines, structures, or software.
Examples:
A civil engineer. Engineer shortage. The engineer will repair my telephone tomorrow morning.
Silicon.
A chemical element with the symbol C that is a hard, brittle crystalline solid with a blue-gray metallic luster and used for the transistors and integrated circuit chips in computers.
Examples:
Silicon wafer. Crystalline silicon. Silicon is the second most abundant element on Earth after oxygen.
Valley.
A long depression on the surface of the land, which typically contains a river.
Examples:
Valley bottom. Basin-shaped valley. The valley had received a mild snowfall the previous week.
Hack.
To hit and cut somebody or something roughly and violently, to find a bug in a computer program and break into their systems or networks.
Examples:
Hack through the jungle. Hack into the program. This blog offers a variety of tips for hacking everyday life.
Atomic.
Of or relating to atom, equals the smallest component of an element.
Examples:
Atomic nucleus. Atomic bomb. Carbon has an atomic mass of 12.
Chemistry.
The branch of the natural sciences dealing with the composition of substances and their properties and reactions.
Examples:
Professor of chemistry. The chemistry of soil. He is familiar with chemistry and biology.
Hero.
A person who is admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities, a character in literature or history who is central to the plot and who exhibits heroic qualities.
Examples:
Local hero. Unsung hero. The soldier who sacrificed his life for his country is considered a national hero.
Electron.
A tiny particle with a negative electrical charge.
Examples:
Flow of electrons. Beam of electrons. The outermost electron shell determines the chemical properties of an atom.
Communicate.
To share or exchange information with others by speaking, writing, moving your body, or using other signals.
Examples:
Communicate his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Communicate well with my advisor. Dolphins use sound to communicate with each other.
Convince.
To persuade someone or make someone believe that something is true.
Examples:
Convince her to go with us. Convince an opponent. I am considering what I should do to convince him.
Insane.
Extremely stupid, crazy, or dangerous, mentally ill.
Examples:
Go insane with pleasure. An insane scheme. Her excessive demands drove me insane.
Addictive.
Causing a strong desire or compulsion to use or consume repeatedly, often to the point of dependency or harm, habit forming.
Examples:
Highly addictive. Addictive substance. The new video game was so addictive that he stayed up all night playing it.
Superhighway.
A large, wide road designed for high-speed traffic.
Examples:
6-lane superhighway. A toll gate of a superhighway. The university provides a wireless internet superhighway to its students.
Shiny.
Reflecting light and having a bright and smooth surface.
Examples:
Shiny surface. Shiny object. The shiny new car drew everyone's attention as it drove by.
Paperweight.
A small, heavy object, often made of glass or metal, that is designed to hold down papers or other items on a desk or table. An object, usually an electronic device or piece of machinery, that is non-functional or useless for its intended purpose.
Examples:
Metallic paperweight. Paperweight gift. The stained glass paperweight added a pop of color to the desk.
Display.
To exhibit or show something to others, often to attract attention or demonstrate its features, properties, or value.
Examples:
Display merchandise. Display artwork. We need to display our products in an attractive way to attract customers.
Vivid.
Producing very clear, powerful, and detailed images in the mind.
Examples:
Vivid colors. Still vivid in my memory. She made a vivid impression.
Organic.
Pertaining to or derived from biological substance, producing plants and animals for food and other items without the use of synthetic chemicals.
Examples:
Organic soils. Eat organic food. Kidney is an organic component of the body.
Polymer.
A substance composed of macromolecules, equals large groups of atoms, made from many smaller and simpler molecules.
Examples:
Polymer fiber. Biological polymer. We are developing plant-derived polymers to reduce environmental impact.
Embedded.
Fixed firmly into the surface of something.
Examples:
Embedded systems. LED embedded glass. The embedded chip in my credit card allows me to make contactless payments.
Electrify.
To make a machine or system work by using electricity, to make someone extremely enthusiastic about or interested in something.
Examples:
Electrify the audience. Electrify a manufacturing process. The product developed through years of research continues to electrify the market.
Battery.
A device that is placed inside a car, gadget, equipment, etc., and that provides electrical power to them.
Examples:
A dry battery. Battery charging. The engine did not start because the battery was flat.
Intense.
Especially of a feeling, very strong, extremely sharp or severe.
Examples:
Intense heat. Develop intense itching. That statement by the Prime Minister drew intense international criticism.
Chemical.
Relating to or connected with chemistry.
Examples:
Toxic chemicals. A chemical compound. The firm has grown into a large chemical manufacturing.
Principle.
A fundamental law or truth that explains or controls how something happens or works.
Examples:
Principle of treatment. Principle in business. Efficiency isn't an essential principle here, fairness is.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
A tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Electrode.
Either of 2 points or ends of a conductor at which electricity enters or leaves an object, substance, or region.
Examples:
Platinum electrodes. Electrode corrosion. It is important to place the electrodes in the correct position for accurate electrocardiogram recording.
Footprint.
A mark of a foot, shoe, or animal's foot left on a surface.
Examples:
Footprints in the snow. The footprints of an earlier civilization. We choose transportation that has a smaller carbon footprint.
Selfie.
A photograph that one has taken of oneself, typically one taken with a smartphone or webcam to share on social media.
Examples:
Selfie stick. Pose for a selfie. She took a selfie in front of the famous tower and shared it on the app.
Recharge.
To restore the energy or power of something by supplying it with more energy or power. To refresh or renew oneself by rest or sleep.
Examples:
Recharge brain and body. Recharge energy. He needed to recharge his phone before the meeting.
Tether.
To tie or secure an animal, person, or object with a rope, chain, or other similar devices to prevent it from moving too far away. Noun, a rope or chain used to tie up or restrain an animal, such as a horse or dog.
Examples:
Tether a horse. Tether strap. The hiker tethered their dog to a tree while they camped for the night.
Electrical.
Relating to electricity.
Examples:
An electrical storm. Degree in electrical engineering. Actuators convert electrical pulses into motion.
Outlet.
A means of release or expression, often for emotions or energy. A place of business that sells goods directly to customers. A device or opening through which something can flow out.
Examples:
An outlet for water. Media outlet. The outlet in the bathroom was faulty, so I had to use a different one for my hairdryer.
Adhesive.
A sticky substance used to hold things together.
Examples:
Adhesive ability. Adhesive tape. You'll need some solid adhesive to repair that chair.
Bind.
To tie or fasten someone or something tightly with rope, string, etc., so that they cannot move or are held together strongly.
Examples:
Bind the man's hands. Bind old letters into a bundle. The company's rules bind the employees' working hours.
Withstand.
To resist the effect or impact of something.
Examples:
Withstand pressure. Withstand temptation. The new phone is waterproof and can withstand being dropped in water.
Frequent.
Happening constantly.
Examples:
Frequent absence. Frequent use. His heartaches are less frequent now.
Millennium.
A span of 1,000 years, or the 1,000th anniversary, plural, millennia.
Examples:
Past millennium. Millennium bottle of wine. Our world is in the third millennium.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Brain.
The organ inside the head that is responsible for one's movement, thought, memory, and feeling.
Examples:
Basic brain function. Permanent brain damage. X-rays revealed a small tumor in his brain.
Component.
One of several parts that combines with others to form something bigger.
Examples:
Key component. Spare components for cars. The researchers try to discover a common component in all types of successful organizations.
Circuit.
In electrical engineering, an electrical device that provides a path for electrical current to flow, a journey or route around a particular place or area.
Examples:
Circuit breaker. Federal Circuit courts. An intelligent battery has a voltage monitoring circuit.
Prefer.
To like, choose, or want one thing or person better than another.
Examples:
Prefer physics to chemistry. Prefer a window seat. The birds prefer open water areas with reeds around them.
Biology.
The scientific study of life and the natural processes of living things.
Examples:
Evolutionary biology. Cell and molecular biology. In junior high school, we had to dissect a frog in biology class.
Metaphor.
A figure of speech in which an expression is used to refer to something that it does not denote to suggest a similarity.
Examples:
Metaphor for death. Visual metaphor. She expressed her thought in an artful choice of metaphors.
Motherboard.
The main circuit board in a computer or other electronic device that contains the central processing unit, CPU, memory, and other essential components that allow the device to function.
Examples:
Motherboard upgrade. Faulty motherboard. The performance of a computer largely depends on the quality of the motherboard.
Beneath.
In or to a lower place than someone or something.
Examples:
The ground beneath my feet. Beneath contempt. A great stretch of the lake lay beneath them.
Sleek.
Smooth and glossy in appearance or texture, streamlined and elegant in design or form, characterized by a polished or refined style or appearance.
Examples:
Sleek car. Sleek black dress. The car's sleek, aerodynamic design made it look fast even when standing still.
Praise.
An expression that shows approval and admiration of the achievements or characteristics of someone or something.
Examples:
Attain critical praise. Universal praise. The drama series mainly received praise.
Deserve.
To be worthy of or entitled to something, especially something good or valuable.
Examples:
Deserve respect. Deserve this prize. The employee deserved the promotion for their hard work and dedication.
Transistor.
A semiconductor device that can be used to amplify or switch electronic signals and power, which is an essential component in modern electronics.
Examples:
Transistor radio. Transistor circuit. The invention of the transistor revolutionized the field of electronics.
Chip.
A small fragment of something broken off from the whole, a long and thin piece of potato fried in oil or fat.
Examples:
A chip of wood. I don't care a chip. We can use this campaign as a bargaining chip in the negotiations.
Capacitor.
A device that is placed inside electronic equipment such as televisions and radios, and that stores electrical charge.
Examples:
Capacitor load. AC capacitor. Hundreds of ceramic capacitors are used in a single smartphone.
Resist.
To refuse to accept something and attempt to prevent it from happening.
Examples:
Resist temptation. Resist being kissed. I chose to resist cancer by trying every possible treatment.
Hardware.
Durable tools, machinery, and other equipment, the physical and electronic parts of a computer or other electronic systems.
Examples:
The hardware department. A vast inventory of hardware. The mouse and keyboard are essential hardware for operating a PC.
Spool.
A cylindrical device with a flange at one or both ends, containing a hollow center and used to wind or store wire, thread, tape, film, or other flexible materials.
Examples:
Spool pin. Spool of tape. I need a new spool of thread for my sewing machine.
Clip.
A small metal or plastic device used for holding an object or objects together or in place, a short part of electronic media, either an audio clip or video clip.
Examples:
Tie clip. Short video clip. He fastened some sheets of paper with a clip.
Rely.
To require a certain thing or the assistance and support of someone or something in order to continue, run properly, or succeed.
Examples:
Rely on convenience stores. Rely entirely on him. Babies heavily rely on others for food.
Posit.
To suggest or accept something as fact or as a basis for argument or consideration.
Examples:
Posit the existence of life after death. Posit the premise. We should posit several hypotheses to discuss the matter.
Sphere.
A round object or geometric shape that is three-dimensional and symmetrical around a central point, a particular aspect or scope of life or activity.
Examples:
Sphere of influence. Business sphere. The sphere of the Earth is divided into several layers, including the crust, mantle, and core.
Insulate.
To protect something by interposing material that prevents heat, noise, electricity, etc.
Examples:
Insulate the room from sound. Insulate electricity. We had our bedroom insulated before winter came.
Negative.
Having the quality of something bad or harmful, expressing refusal.
Examples:
Have a negative effect. A negative number. The movie has received almost universally negative criticism.
Formaldehyde.
A colorless, flammable liquid with a strong, pungent smell used as a preservative and in the manufacture of various products.
Examples:
Formaldehyde solution. Formaldehyde odor. Exposure to high levels of formaldehyde can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat, as well as respiratory problems and cancer.
Distinct.
Noticeable from something else of a similar type.
Examples:
Distinct difference. Distinct from each other. It is essential to keep these two issues distinct.
Odor.
A distinctive or unpleasant smell, a scent or aroma that can be sensed through the sense of smell.
Examples:
Odor control. Pleasant odor. The odor from the trash can was unbearable, so I had to take it out.
Preserve.
To keep or maintain a particular quality, feature, etc., especially to prevent it from decaying, being damaged, or being destroyed.
Examples:
Preserve my strength. Preserve a country's heritage. They worked hard to preserve the nature of their native lands.
Redox.
A chemical reaction in which there is a transfer of electrons from one molecule to another, resulting in a change in the oxidation state, or degree of electron loss or gain, of one or more atoms.
Examples:
Redox reaction. Redox equilibrium. In a redox process, one substance gains electrons while another loses them.
Metallic.
Relating to or resembling metal, having a shiny, silvery, or reflective quality, characterized by strength, durability, or toughness.
Examples:
Metallic taste. Metallic object. The jewelry shop featured a wide array of metallic accessories made of gold, silver, and copper.
Conduct.
To organize and carry out a particular activity.
Examples:
Conduct a background check. Conduct research. Police will conduct random breath testing for drunk driving.
Shrink.
To become smaller, or to make something smaller in size or amount.
Examples:
Shrink the tumor. Shrink with fear. This shirt will shrink in the wash.
Absolutely.
Without restriction or limitation, completely or utterly.
Examples:
Absolutely against. Absolutely obsessed with the girl. I am absolutely opposed to his idea because of morality.
Pants.
An item of clothing that covers the lower part of the body and each leg separately, typically with a waistband and two legs.
Examples:
Woolly pants. Pajama pants. I always wear pants when I go outside, even in the summer.
Micron.
A unit of measurement equal to 1/1,000,000th of a meter, used for measuring the size of particles and microorganisms.
Examples:
Micron measurements. Micron imaging. The width of a single human hair is around 100 microns.
Nanoscale.
On a scale that can be measured in nanometers, equals 1/1000,000th of a meter, on a very small scale.
Examples:
Nanoscale device. Things at the nanoscale. This process improves the strength of the metal by controlling the nanoscale lattice structure of the metal.
Magic.
Beliefs and actions employed to influence supernatural beings and forces, any art or performance that invokes supernatural powers.
Examples:
A magic spell. She is magic. He performed magic tricks with sophisticated moves.
Electromagnetic.
Of or relating to the magnetism produced by electric charge in motion.
Examples:
Electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic properties. His hypothesis concerns the role of an electromagnetic field in human health.
Ray.
A narrow line of light, heat, or another form of energy.
Examples:
Opaque to X-rays. Effect of cosmic rays. Gamma rays penetrate body tissues and cause cell damage.
Accident.
An unfortunate event, especially one causing damage or injury.
Examples:
Cause an accident. Injury in a car accident. The accident partially destroyed my vehicle.
Lithograph.
A printmaking process that involves creating a design on a flat stone or metal plate, transferring the design to paper using ink, and then printing multiple copies of the design.
Examples:
Lithograph print. Limited edition lithograph. The art gallery showcased a collection of colorful lithographic prints by renowned artists.
Radiation.
The energy that comes from a nuclear reaction in the form of rays, waves, or particles, and that can be hazardous to health.
Examples:
Exposure to radiation. Electromagnetic radiation. He tried every possible treatment, including chemotherapy and radiation therapy.
Cram.
To force or try to fit a large amount of information into a short time, especially in preparation for an examination. To force or try to fit a large amount of something into a small space.
Examples:
Cram more circuits into chips. Cram 5 people into a car. She had to cram for the final exam and stayed up all night studying.
Substrate.
A substance or layer from which an organism grows and lives, and by which an organism is supported. A substance on which an enzyme or ferment act.
Examples:
A silicon substrate. Substrate cell. Computational simulations help determine which substrate molecule is susceptible to change by specific enzymes.
Sensitive.
Able to notice slight changes, signals, or influences. Able to feel or perceive others' feelings. Susceptible to the things people say or do.
Examples:
Sensitive documents. Baby with sensitive skin. The teacher is very sensitive to children's feelings.
Mask.
To conceal something, noun, a covering that you wear over your face to hide it.
Examples:
Mask body odor. An oxygen mask. The politician tried to mask the corruption.
Feat.
A notable or impressive achievement, especially one that requires great skill or bravery.
Examples:
Intellectual feat. Feat accomplishment. It is an incredible feat to climb Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world.
Expose.
To show something by uncovering it, to make something accessible to some action or influence.
Examples:
Expose a crime. Expose a person to risks. That newspaper exposed a political scandal in a big way.
Shadow.
A dark area or shape cast by an object blocking the passage of light, an area in darkness or shade, a reflected image or copy of something, a person, activity, or influence that follows or accompanies someone or something closely and persistently, often in a secretive or ominous manner.
Examples:
Shadow cast, shadow puppetry. The tree cast a shadow over the picnic area, providing relief from the sun.
Reaction.
A response that reveals a person's feelings or attitude. In chemistry, a process in which one or more substances are changed into others.
Examples:
Chemical reaction. Trigger a reaction. There was a chemical reaction of the lime with the groundwater.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Exposed.
Having no protection or shield from something, such as bad weather, attack, or criticism.
Examples:
Exposed to radiation. An exposed rock. Tech companies often employ exposed ducts and other materials in their office interiors.
Miniature.
Being on a very small scale.
Examples:
Miniature camera. Miniature version. He did complicated pen and ink drawings like medieval miniatures.
Convinced.
Completely certain about something, having a strong belief or conviction in a particular religion.
Examples:
Convinced of the idea. Convinced criminal. The public is convinced that the Prime Minister has committed fraud.
Wrap.
To cover or enclose something entirely with paper, cloth, or other material.
Examples:
Wrap a fish in foil. Wrap up a meeting. Wrap the bandage tightly around the injured arm.
Extract.
A short passage taken from a book, piece of music, etc., a substance obtained from something through a specific process. Verb, to obtain from something or to remove something by effort or force.
Examples:
A brief extract from the book. Botanical extract. Anesthetize the gum before extracting the teeth.
Wireless.
Of or relating a connection or communication that does not require a physical wire or cable, often through the use of radio waves or electromagnetic signals.
Examples:
Wireless access. Wireless charging. The office's wireless network allows employees to work from anywhere in the building.
Commerce.
The activity of buying and selling things, especially on a large scale.
Examples:
Interstate commerce. The local chamber of commerce. This company has invested heavily in internet commerce.
Excite.
To make someone feel suddenly enthusiastic or eager.
Examples:
Excite the crowd. Excite rebellion. The news of her promotion excited her.
Download.
To transfer data or files from the internet or computer network to a user's computer or device. Noun, the process of transferring data or information from a remote or central computer to a local computer or device.
Examples:
Download files from the internet. Download the assignment from the website. I need to download the latest update for my computer's operating system.
Opposed.
Being completely different from something or disagreeing strongly with something.
Examples:
Two opposed characters. Absolutely opposed to abortion. I'm strongly opposed to that plan.
Plain.
Without being decorated in any way. Noun, a vast expanse of flat land with few trees.
Examples:
Plain answer. Delta plain. The lowest lowland region is mostly flat plain.
Destination.
The place to which someone or something is going or being sent, the ultimate purpose or goal of a journey or action.
Examples:
Travel destination. Romantic destinations. I am excited to reach my destination and explore the new city finally.
Traditionally.
In accordance with tradition, typically or commonly done in a particular way.
Examples:
Traditionally accepted concept. Traditionally sung at a banquet. Traditionally, the ceremony was held outdoors.
Rough.
Not quite exact or correct, having or caused by an irregular surface.
Examples:
Rough and tough. Rough estimation. The vehicle bounced along the rough mountain road.
Stick.
To put something, usually a sharp object, into something. Noun, a thin piece of wood or other material.
Examples:
Stick a key in a lock. Fire stick. You stick a bill in the change machine, and the coins pop out.
Rip.
To tear something or be torn violently or suddenly.
Examples:
Rip a notebook apart. Rip a hole in the roof. During transit, the stuff may rip off the luggage tag.
Install.
To fix furniture, a machine, or a piece of equipment into position so that it can be used. put into an office or a position.
Examples:
Install a door. Install a chairperson. The new president was installed immediately after the national election.
App.
Abbreviation for application, software designed to run on smartphones and other mobile devices or inside a web browser on a PC.
Examples:
Killer app. Cannot log into the app. The discovery of a critical bug caused the company to delay the app's release.
Complexity.
The state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples:
Cognitive complexity. Complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Drill.
A tool or machine used for making round holes or driving fasteners, a training or practice.
Examples:
The drill hit the well. Fire drill. Several military drill programs have become popular methods of exercise.
Tunnel.
An underground or underwater passage, typically for trains or cars.
Examples:
Tunnel construction work. Tunnel disease. The workers had to dig through solid rock to create the vehicular tunnel, allowing the cars to pass through the mountain.
Straight.
Extending or moving in one direction without bending or curving, having no deviations.
Examples:
A straight line. Straight for 2 months. He was sick for 5 straight days.
Interrupt.
To say or do something that causes someone to stop in their speech or action.
Examples:
Interrupt a call. Abruptly interrupt. Her sleep was interrupted by recurring pain.
Underlying.
Significant as a cause or basis of something, but not immediately apparent or stated clearly.
Examples:
An underlying motive. An underlying cause of an accident. The underlying principle of every business was identical.
Nook.
A small corner, alcove, or recess, especially one in a room or garden, providing a seat or space for quiet.
Examples:
Every nook and cranny. Breakfast nook. The kitchen nook was perfect for coffee and chatting with friends.
Cranny.
A small, narrow opening or crack, especially in a wall or rock.
Examples:
A cranny in the corner. Look in every nook and cranny. The mouse squeezed into the tiniest cranny of the wall to avoid being caught by the cat.
Latch.
A device for holding a door or gate closed, typically a sliding bar or bolt.
Examples:
Set the latch. Latch mechanism. The latch on the gate was broken, so the cows got loose.
Structural.
Associated with the way on construction or organization of anything.
Examples:
Structural analyses. Structural reorganization. The earthquake resulted in significant structural destruction.
Integrity.
The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, the state of being whole and undivided.
Examples:
A person of integrity. Integrity of data. The company's reputation for honesty and integrity is highly valued among its customers.
Glue.
A sticky substance used for joining things together, a bonding agent made from animal or synthetic materials.
Examples:
Glue stick. Epoxy glue. The carpenter applied glue to the cabinet joints before nailing them together.
Industrious.
Hardworking, diligent, and persistent in effort.
Examples:
Industrious worker. Industrious student. He was known to be very industrious and would often work late into the night.
Inherent.
Existing in something as a permanent, essential, or characteristic attribute.
Examples:
Inherent risk. Have an inherent dislike. Honesty is an inherent quality that everyone should strive to possess.
Adhesion.
The action or process of sticking to something, the physical force that holds surfaces together, especially in the case of two different materials that are in contact with each other.
Examples:
Adhesion strength. Chemical adhesion. The adhesion of the duct tape to the surface was surprisingly strong.
Physicist.
A scientist who specializes in the field of physics.
Examples:
Talented physicist. Theoretical physicist. Einstein was an outstanding and famous physicist of the 20th century.
Skyrocket.
To rapidly ascend to a very high level, increase rapidly.
Examples:
Skyrocket the cost. Price skyrocketed. Production has decreased, but costs and unemployment have skyrocketed dramatically.
Handle.
To deal with a situation, problem, or strong emotion.
Examples:
Handle a precious object. Handled the incident. We all should learn how to handle stress.
Imaginary.
Existing only in someone's mind.
Examples:
Imaginary number. Imaginary pregnancy. Little children tend to have imaginary friends.
Peanut.
A type of legume that grows underground and is widely cultivated and consumed as a food source.
Examples:
Peanut butter. The seed of a peanut. Some people have severe allergies to peanuts and must avoid them completely.
Allergy.
A hypersensitivity disorder of the immune system, characterized by an exaggerated response to certain allergens, such as pollens, foods, and drugs.
Examples:
Food allergy. Allergy treatment. The allergy test helped to determine the cause of her symptoms.
Consume.
To spend something, especially fuel, energy, or time, in a large amount.
Examples:
Consume a large of alcohol. Consume electricity. A smaller car will consume less fuel.
Efficient.
Performing at the highest level of productivity with the least wasted effort or resources, capable of achieving maximum output with minimum wasted effort, time, or materials.
Examples:
Efficient operation. Energy efficient appliances. The new washing machine is much more efficient than the old one.
Calorie.
Unit of heat defined as the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius at atmospheric pressure, used by nutritionists to measure how much energy food will produce.
Examples:
Calorie calculation. Reduce my calorie intake. It would be best if you burned off calories through vigorous exercise.
Pregnant.
Having a baby or young animal developing in the uterus.
Examples:
Needs of pregnant women. A silence pregnant with suspense. She vacated the position when she got pregnant.
Pound.
The standard unit of money in the UK, the standard unit of weight equal to 16 ounces.
Examples:
3/4 of a pound. Thousands of pounds. The car's front bumper cost £1,500.
Atom.
The smallest unit of ordinary matter that forms a chemical element, composed of a nucleus and one or more electrons bound to the nucleus.
Examples:
Oxygen atom. Neutral hydrogen atoms. The outermost electron shell of an atom determines its chemical characteristics.
Innovation.
The creation of a new device or process resulting from study and experimentation.
Examples:
Innovation leader. Cutting-edge innovation. The vegetarian burger was an innovation that quickly spread to the United Kingdom.
Decide.
To make up someone's mind about something, To come to a conclusion or judgment after considering options.
Examples:
Decide a question. Decide on a course of action. She couldn't decide whether to order the pizza or the pasta for dinner.
Sidekick.
A person who is closely associated with and supports another person, especially in a work or professional capacity. A person who is a close and loyal companion.
Examples:
A detective's sidekick. His best friend's sidekick. The superhero's sidekick was always there to help him.
Captain.
The leader of a group of people, especially who is in charge of a ship or aircraft.
Examples:
The captain of an opposing team. Captain of industry. The captain ordered the troops to fire.